Hi, welcome back to my channel. I am Omega, and today I'm going to talk with you guys about our daily routine and the things I do with my kids, the flow and rhythm that we have set up. And the funny thing is, I already did a video explaining this, but then today I went and changed everything. I've been having some concerns that I wasn't spending enough time with my older kids and, not getting good quality time with my littles. So I went and created a whole new routine for us to follow. And I'll be showing you guys, I have it up on my whiteboard. I'll be showing you guys exactly how our day is going to start flowing and hopefully give you some insight. I've changed up my loops a little bit, and if you haven't seen my looping video, you can check that out here. But I'll be showing you how I am doing them now. And I just want to say, you guys, I think my first video on looping, and that was back in, I think, July. And I'd had this loop system going for a long time. We'd been doing it where I'd been hitting them, my subjects, once a week. And then just, a couple videos, I told you I added a new loop, and you'll get to see that. But the thing about homeschooling that I think you're going to realize if you continue watching my channel is I am constantly flowing with the needs of my kids. I am constantly changing things and, adapting things for all four of them. And hopefully this video, when I go and show you what it is that I changed and how we're structuring our day now going forward, you'll see that even when you have a good system, which I feel I have, is this looping system is great, you have to be fluid. You have to be able to adapt and flow with your kids, move with what they need. And honestly, it's challenging. I have been thinking about changing our schedule for about a month now, and I just couldn't find the right fit. And we happened to start a new history curriculum today. If you watch one of my other videos about the core things we use, I talk about Mystery of History and how we were doing, Middle Ages. Well, I changed that too. We switched to doing U.S. history. Connor is in high school, and I felt that, when we did U.S. history really early on, it was, pretty elementary, middle school range. And I wanted him to get like a deeper U.S. history. And I figured now's the perfect time because he'll be 16 soon, and this program I think will take us about a year. And when I say year, I mean like, about 42 weeks to get through. So it'll be, an English credit for him, a history credit, and maybe even a, geography credit. So I structured, that's what brought about the change in our schedule, is I'm trying to not bog us down too much, trying to not bog him down too much with crazy academics. But I still want him to, get a taste of what it'll be like when he goes to college and having to, write these essays and do some research, things like that. And I can talk about the history program later. We just started it, and I already love it, but I'll get into that another time. Today I just want to give you an idea of what our day looks like, what it looked like before, and what it is going to start looking like going forward. So I'm going to show you guys my whiteboard, and I'll talk about what it is we do. Okay, so here is my whiteboard. As you can see, I gave each of my kids a column. On this side over here are the hours of the day that we usually do school. So I'm just going to go through it and explain what this means. So at 8 o'clock, Connor will be doing something from his loop 3. Oren will be doing math. Liam and Fiona usually play in the mornings. They're either listening to their books, playing Legos, she's doing art, whatever they want to do. That's also the time usually where they'll, be munching on their breakfast. At 9 o'clock is our read aloud, and this is a time where I read a couple picture books and, a couple chapters from our chapter book, however long whatever I can squeeze in during that hour. At 10 o'clock, Connor will go and do the second thing he has chosen from his loop 3. His loop is divided into like a pie section. So there's 2 things that he does for the day for a week. So at the end of that week, it rotates to the next 2 things. And Oren, that is his workout hour. The reason I have that slashed is because our workout days for us are Saturday through Wednesday. So on Thursday and Friday are his rest days, so he's not actually working out during that hour. So I put in, that's when he does handwriting. He'll do some loop 3, maybe, if I'm available, have time with me, maybe doing a quick yoga session. And Liam at 10 o'clock is his hour with me where we do his learning and we do his loop 3. Also, I will do like math and reading with him at that time. Fiona at that time usually is doing like independent reading. She's doing her loop 3, which is mostly, some medium of art. She, will squeeze in her exercise, do some cleaning, maybe do her chore at that time. At 11 o'clock, that's Connor's time to work out in our little home gym here. On same thing, Thursdays and Fridays, he doesn't work out. Maybe he'll do a yoga session. On Fridays, they go to parkour, so I don't usually do anything on Friday for exercise. So here I have that he, does homework, and that's going to be from the new history program that I mentioned, because they assign essays and questions and notes, things like that. So that'll give him time to catch up, do those things. Also, he is going to be taking over teaching science, and that'll be a time for him to prep for the week to teach science. Read the lessons, figure out what kind of questions he wants to ask the littles, and later on in the day, if you'll see down at 2, it's his time with me. That's where I'll be helping him do things like that for the week of science. So back up to 11 o'clock, that is when Oren will do his loop 3 stuff. Liam usually plays, he'll do exercise, his handwriting. Fiona's time at 11 is with me. That's where we'll do her reading lesson, we'll do her math lesson. She wants to learn, she wants to do engineering right now. That's, something she's interested in. So, we'll read a couple of picture books about engineers, or, go through some of my Usborne books that have the Lift the Flaps that she enjoys. It's just a good time where we just kind of honestly hang out, and she gets a little bit of lessons in with that. At noon, we break for lunch, and everybody goes off and does their own thing. That's the time I get to hang out with my husband. We have lunch together. At 1 o'clock, now this is a change from, the other videos where I mentioned our independent reading. 1 o'clock used to be our independent reading time, where everyone would go to separate areas of the house and read for an hour. But that's no longer going to work for us, so I'm switching it to be our loop 2 time. So that way, when we are on our history week and we are on our science week, that at 2 o'clock, Connor can have that time to do, whatever homework, work on essays that's required in this new program that we started. And I moved independent reading to 2 o'clock for my other kiddos. Now here in Oren, you'll see that I have it slashed to do mom time. I like to do a little bit of speech with Oren, and I like to have him do a little bit of reading aloud to me. So that's what that is. During his independent reading time, I'll go spend like 15 minutes, not very long, and just have him read to me, maybe work on some of the words that he has trouble saying. So like I said, you guys, homeschooling is a really customized endeavor that you do with your kids, and it's constantly changing. It's constantly flowing. What worked well for us 6 months ago isn't going to work well for us now. I'm keeping the same structure and the same principle of my loops and my time blocks with my kids. We're just shifting them around to make it work for us. So that is, I think, super important. You need to be flexible and not be so set when you find something that's great. Make it work for you. Don't work for the schedule. If you need to change it, if you need to move things around, then do that, because that is what I think fends off burnout. I have had times where I feel very burnt out, but honestly, it's not as often as I hear other moms tell me about, that they're just done, they're tired. And when I sit there and talk with them, it usually comes down to they're trying to keep up. They're trying to either keep up with the curriculum, they're trying to keep up with, the public school peers, or just what they think, their kids need to know by a certain age. And that is, exhausting. I have a video coming where I talk about where in my early years, I totally burnt myself out. I burnt Connor out because I was trying to make us work with a structure and a schedule that just wasn't for us. And when I broke away from that and got some clarity about, this is just a guideline. Like they're not something that I need to rigidly stick to. If it's not working for us, then I need to change it. So if you have something, a schedule or a curriculum that you're just bogged down by it, that you're dreading and you're stressed out, my advice would be to, adjust your thinking about it and see it as a guideline, and make whatever it is you're using, curriculum, your schedule, make it work for you. Do what's best for your family, do what's best for your kids, and make those adjustments. If you want help making those kinds of adjustments, hit me up in the comments and I will DM you, message you about, hey, this is, maybe you can do this or shift this around. I have helped, a lot of moms figure out how to make this work, because I have the 4 kids, the 4 different levels, and I think I just see it from a different perspective than most moms do, and I really make what we're using work for us. That's seriously the key to it all. Don't become a slave to your curriculum or your schedule. Now I'm going to show you my loops and what I've done with those. So here is the new loop system. As you can see, it's not really all that different. You'll notice that I broke up our history and science. This was my old card. And the reason I broke it up is because history and science are going to be intense subjects for Connor. The new curriculum has a lot of extras that we're not going to actually be finishing in that hour that we do history together. There's going to be, comprehension questions and essays for him to write. It includes literature, so it's going to blend with his writing week. And also during his writing week, he will be planning for the week of science that he'll be teaching. So I'm going to, both of us will go through it together. And, the reason I decided to do that is because his science knowledge is pretty incredible. He covered it so well during his early, elementary years and his middle school years that when we got to science for high school, it it was so repetitive. And you know, I found a new science program, and I like the way it's a Socratic method, and you dig a little deeper. And honestly, I'm sure you will have realized this as homeschool parents, that when you're teaching a subject, you're actually relearning the subject in a better way. I learned so much teaching, and instead of having him just, you know, go through textbooks and, you know, or just redo a lot of the same things that we did before, I felt like him teaching the subject would give him a new level of understanding and comprehension of science, and like a new appreciation for it as well. So that is why I chose to do that. So if you look at the board, we have history, and then the next week we will have writing, and then the next week we will have science. And I've added this new card. This is business and financial education. I have decided to just combine this, and this is what we're going to do, business and financial education at the same time. I'm still putting this one off because I haven't put this curriculum together. We'll talk about that when I get it done. And I am combining our fun week and our cleaning week. We've actually been doing a fairly decent job of keeping the house clean on a regular basis now that we're back in a routine of, you know, schooling, where we're not so unschooled like we were for the summer. Friday is still our makeup day, our catch-up day, and honestly our fun day. It's also our, you know, parkour day. We're gone for most of the afternoon, but in the mornings we will either be cleaning, having fun, or catching up on any of the subjects that we didn't complete well for that week. So I kind of feel like I rushed through this video and, you know, rushed through the schedule, but I had just finished it. I was so excited to share it with you guys and, you know, get this video up and out while I had it in my head. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you maybe learned a new way to look at your schedule or your routine. If you guys have any questions, if you want me to explain this a little better, go ahead and send me a DM. Leave a comment down below and I will get back to you. I'll help you out however I can. So thank you again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.